Good day. In this video, we're going to look at sequences, and you must find out the next 2 or 3 numbers in the sequence. Before we start, please remember, if there's anything in school mathematics that you're not sure about or that you have trouble with, always try it first, and then you may send the problem to us with a WhatsApp photo to this number up here. Then we will look at it, try and solve it, and send back an answer to you for free. Here is 4 sequences that we must try and find the next numbers in the sequence. First, a general piece of information. The question is, how many numbers do we need to write in a sequence before we can stop and ask you to complete? Usually it's 3, but the rule says, the moment you can see a sure pattern, then you can stop. Right, here's our first sequence. We must find out what happened to minus 3 to get to minus 9, and the same thing must happen to get to minus 15, and the same thing must happen to minus 15 to get to the next guy. I'm not going to give you a lot of chance for creativity. I'm just going to run through a lot of sequences with you to let you see what different things can happen to form a pattern. In the first case, we're going to go minus 6 every time. Minus 3, minus 6 is minus 9, minus 6 is minus 15, minus 6 gives me minus 21, and then minus 6 gives me minus 27, and so on. The next pattern, we have a 16, then an 8, and then an 4. Let's see what happens in this pattern. We divide by 2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then 1 divided by 2 is a half. Don't get a fright because they're suddenly fractions. This is maths. The next one, we have a minus 9, minus 18, minus 36. The rule is we times by plus 2. So minus 9 times 2 is minus 18, times plus 2 is minus 36, times plus 2 will give me minus 72, times plus 2 is minus 144, and so on. You use a calculator. Do not try and break your brain on this. The next one, we have a minus 18, minus 17, minus 15, minus 12, and so on. If you see, from minus 18 to minus 17 is plus 1, to minus 15 is plus 2, to minus 12 is plus 3, and so on. So we then plus 4 to get to minus 8, plus 5, and then plus 6. Here we have 3 more. They say we must find the next numbers in the sequence. So we got here 8, then 5, then 2. In this case, we minus 3 every time. 8 minus 3 is 5, minus 3 is 2, and so on. Minus 3 is minus 1, and then minus 3 is minus 4. The next one, we have minus 2, 4, minus 8, so the numbers are changing and the signs are changing. In this case, we are going to multiply by minus 2. Minus 2 times minus 2 is plus 4. Plus 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. Minus 8 times minus 2 gives me a plus 16. Then plus 16 times minus 2 is minus 32. Minus 32 times minus 2 is plus 64. Now what type we haven't seen in this video yet is this one. We've got a minus 1, a minus 4, and a minus 9. And we must find a pattern that I can use from here to get to this, and from here to get to this, or whatever. Now in maths, we call this term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4. Do not worry too much about the word terms. This is the first guy, second guy, third guy, fourth, fifth, and sixth one. What we did here is we put down a minus and we took 1 times 1 and we got 1. Put the minus down and said 2 times 2 and wrote it down. Put the minus down and said 3 times 3 and that gives me 9. Don't get afraid of what I wrote here. I said you put the minus down and you take this number and you times it by itself or square it. So this will be a minus and then 4 squared. Then we're going to write a minus and 5 times 5 is 25. We put a minus and 6 times 6 is 36. Right, we have 4 more sequences here. Here we have a minus 10, minus 7, minus 4. In this case, we will plus 3 every time. Minus 10 plus 3 is minus 7, plus 3 is minus 4. Plus 3 is minus 1, and so on. The next one, we have a minus 2, minus 4, minus 8. Here we times by a plus 2 right through. So plus 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. Minus 4 times plus 2 is minus 8. Minus 8 times plus 2 is minus 16, and so on. In the next sequence, you can see again the numbers are becoming bigger and the signs are changing. So 6 to minus 12, same rule to get to plus 24. In this case, we times by a minus 2. Plus 6 times minus 2 is minus 12. Minus 12 times minus 2 is plus 24. Plus 24 times minus 2 is minus 48, and so on. Use a calculator when the numbers get big. The next sequence is minus 30, minus 27, minus 23, and so on. From minus 30 to minus 27 is plus 3. To minus 23 is plus 4. To minus 18 is plus 5. Then we will keep doing this adding by 1. And the answer will be minus 12, and then plus 7 is minus 5, and then plus 8 is plus 3, and so on. Now the last three sequences of this video, the first one here says we got a 5, then a 3, and then a 1. So we are minusing 2 every time. 5 minus 2 is 3, minus 2 is 1, minus 2 is minus 1, and so on. The next one has a 9, minus 9, then minus 3, and then minus 1. I must find a pattern how I can get from minus 9 to minus 3, and the same pattern through to minus 1, and so on. The pattern is that you are dividing by a plus 3. Minus 9 divided by plus 3 is minus 3. Minus 3 divided by plus 3 is minus 1. Minus 1 divided by plus 3 is minus 1 over 3. Minus 1 over 3 divided by plus 3 is minus 1 over 9. And minus 1 over 9 divided by plus 3 is minus 1 over 27. Use your calculator to help you to find these answers. The next one is one of those special ones that you must get your brain around. It is important and you will use it frequently later. We have a minus 1 here, then a minus 8, and then a minus 27. In one of our previous examples, I told you this will be term 1, term 2, term 3, and so on. Let's just call it the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth person. To find this answer, we will write down a minus, and we'll take 1 times 1 is 1 times 1 is 1. Then we put down a minus, and we'll take 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Then I write down a minus, and I'll take 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So the pattern shows us we're going to put down a minus, then take the value and cube it. So to find this answer over here, I'm going to put down a minus, and then I'm going to take 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is minus 64. Then I put down a minus, and I take 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. Then I put down a minus, and I take 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216. Please indicate whether you liked or disliked this video, and you may subscribe to the channel.